What's going on, everyone? Talen here, and welcome to another Marvel Future Fight video. Alright, so we're still on the APK here, and in today's video we're going to be looking at Bullseye with his Dark Avengers Hawkeye uniform. So, the standard disclaimer, we are on the APK, so that means everything here is still subject to change from now until the live version. So, with that being said, let's just go ahead and take a look at Bullseye's new uniform here. So we'll hop on over and check the uniform out. We have... uniform changes are going to be changes the effects of skill attacking vital point and madness slayer. So that should be both of his passives there, his 4-star and tier 2 passive. And if we take a look at those, his tier 2 passive is going to still retain the ignore dodge by 50%, which is really good. And then you get skill and bonus damage there. So 30% skill and 15% bonus. His passive is now going to be whenever he uses a skill, or a 30% chance whenever he uses a skill, to get 70% penetration, and he will penetrate, it looks like everything there, so that could be useful in PvP, but his skill kit doesn't really look too useful for PvP, but we'll take a look at that once we get into the skill preview. His first skill here, he's got some damage immunity, which is much needed, so he has 4 seconds. The second skill here, this has a chance to miss applied to the enemy and paralysis that does not apply to world bosses. The third skill, he's got a buff here for all attack, all defense by 35%, the small 1% all speed, and 35% crit rate. The fourth skill doesn't really have any notable effects on it, just some burn damage, which I guess might make him viable for Alliance Battle Extreme. What did he have? Did he have burn on any of these other skills? I don't think he did. He's got freeze on there, but freeze isn't really... Yeah, freeze isn't in the rotation for ABX, so yeah, that doesn't matter. Oh, we got burn on the fifth skill as well. So we have burn on the fifth skill, and that's pretty much it. So the fourth and fifth are pretty plain, but they're going to be his most damaging skills. Oh, I didn't read the last part of his uniform effect. He gets 25% all attack as well to try to bump up his damage a little bit there. Let's go ahead and take a look at the uniform options, because I always seem to forget to do that. So let's get that out of the way here. So we have Black Widow's, Marvel Black Widow snowsuit uniform. We've got Wolverine, House of X. We have Red Skull, Hydra armor. We have Hulk, Immortal Hulk. Then we have Magic's Phoenix 5. So those are going to be the uniform options for Bullseye here. So now let's hop into the skill preview and see what his new skills look like. He is another character that's similar to Ares in my opinion, where he just has kind of bland skills that aren't very flashy or exciting. But yeah, let's just go ahead and take a look at him. So his first skill that gives him immunity, he just shoots the bow, you know, a few times there. The second skill, he gets an iframe there, which is nice. So you can use that if you're in a tight pinch, because it is an instant iframe. But again, he just shoots a bow, and then it just ricochets off between the enemies there. The third skill, you just shoot some arrows up in the air, and then you wait for them to just come down and freeze the enemy. The one annoying part about the third skill here is you have to wait for him to actually shoot the arrows to get the buff. So if you look closely, as soon as I hit the button, wait for it, boom, as soon as those arrows get launched into the air, then we get our buff there for the all attack, all defense, and crit rate. And one thing that Hawkeye, or Bullseye, I guess in this case here, is missing is any kind of guard break immunity. So there's no guard break immunity and no super armor, so he can get knocked out of this third skill very easily if you're using him in World Boss Ultimate, and then you will not get the buff. So that's one thing I do not like about the kind of skill kit here. So he definitely needs guard break immunity if you want to try to take him in against World Boss, because if you don't, he's going to get guard broken very easily, and it's just gonna, yeah, it just makes him more difficult to play. The fourth skill, he just shoots an arrow at the ground there, and then we have this residual fire, which is actually quite nice, and this skill does hit pretty hard if you want to actually proc on this particular skill, or at least it seems like it hits pretty hard, because as you know in the APK here, all of our stats are kind of out of whack, so I'm not really getting a good idea or accurate idea of what kind of damage these characters are going to actually do in the live server. The fifth skill here, this one is an iframe, which is definitely needed, so I'm really happy that I at least gave him one skill that has a full iframe. Well, the second skill, but you're not really going to be using that one except for like emergency situations. So what I like to do for Bullseye in terms of skill rotation is we do 1, get that immunity up, go into 3, then I try to do 4 into 5, but it's very difficult in World Boss because of that jump back from the 5th skill. So as you can see, boom, he jumps back there, and you just lose your targeting. So I'll hop back here. I'll be tapping and tapping the 5th skill, and he just won't use the skill, and then eventually he'll run forward, but it takes him a minute to like recover from the jump back, so it's really weird, and that will throw off your damage proc quite easily. Yeah, so you can just do 1, 3, and then go into 5 and just ignore 4, or you can do 4 after 5 if you want to. Maybe use that jump back a little bit to create some distance, so that could be a safe skill, because if the world boss starts to attack you, you just hop back like that and then try to get out of the way. But having this extra fire right here, this residual fire damage while going into the 5th skill, if they're standing in that while you proc, the damage is going to increase pretty substantially. So I'd like to be able to take advantage of that, but it's just the fact that he has that jump back on the 4th skill that you can't really cancel into it too quickly, or at least not consistently, because I can do it every once in a while in World Boss Ultimate, but not with good reliability. And finally, we have the Awakening skill. So here we go. We've got Ares and Moonstone again, just like before. And he's just shooting arrows. He freezes them, and yeah. Oh yeah, it's got all the extra arrows on the ground, and they do the explosion. So if you're going to use the Awakening skill, just go into the third. Well, you're going to do 1, 3 because you want that immunity, so you don't take damage there, and then just go into the Awakening skill. And like I said, I really think he needs guard break immunity, so like a CTP of Destruction or just a regular guard break Obelisk would be the best option if you're trying to get damage from him. Of course, his skill set does suit a CTP of Rage better, just because of the difficulty to chain them together efficiently. But yeah, I don't see the damage or the value to adding a Rage to Bullseye here. I mean, the uniform is definitely a huge upgrade for him, but it's not really going to put him up into like the competition for characters that you're going to want to use daily, say in like World Boss Ultimate. He could be a fun character to use every once in a while. It's going to be a really good Shadowland character for sure if you need another high stage clear in Shadowland, but you probably notice he doesn't have... Oh, put me back here. He doesn't have any all defense down, so he's still not going to be pushing insanely high in Shadowland, but he should still be able to get up there for some of the higher stages, or he can just be another clear so you can save one of your stronger DPS characters. But yeah, did it change his leadership at all? No, leadership is still the ignore dodge. So yeah, I don't really see the value in getting him awakened. The resources are better spent on some of the other awakening characters. So he seems kind of like the average or below average character of the update, in my opinion. Nothing against Bullseye. It's just I'm not seeing anything here that really stands out to me in terms of his skills, his animations, his skill effects, or anything like that. So I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe he'll be really good in PvP or something, but he doesn't really have enough iframes or any iframe ignore or anything like that to really take advantage of to make him good in PvP. But anyway, as you can see, I just have a CTP of energy on him, so we can hop into World Boss Ultimate real quick, and I'll show you a little bit of his survivability, and yeah, we'll go from there, because I don't have a CTP of Destruction to put on him. If I had a CTP of Destruction, I would put that on him, but we also don't even have access to the obelisk or the CTP chest to try to gamble for a CTP of Destruction. For some reason, it's not in the store, so I can't even get extra CTPs if I wanted to. So yeah, let's just move into a little bit of gameplay here and take him in against Proxima. Alright, so here we are at Proxima, stage 31. Again, don't pay attention to the damage here, just because as you can see, my Valor and my raid level are very low on the APK here, so the damage you see isn't going to be a good representation of what he can actually do. But we're using pretty much a similar team to what I used to the other two videos for Ares and Sentry. We have Green Goblin for leadership, because Bullseye here is a Dark Avenger, and then we have Mystique there, but you could use any support that works for all allies or works for villains. So yeah, let's just go ahead and hop in, and we can see what Bullseye can do here and hopefully survive. Alright, so we'll see if we survive. I've been hit or miss with his survivability, so we just do this, go there, and then I try to get into the... Okay, Alright, if I spam the 5th skill, that seems to help a little bit. Okay, yeah, if you spam the 5th skill, then he'll use the 5th skill right when he can, so it doesn't look like the fourth skill can be like insta-cancelled or anything like that. Oh, okay, yeah, you can stop his jump back. Okay, that really helps. I was waiting, I guess, a little too long, and he was doing the jump back, but if I wait a little bit, or if I don't wait... Oh, yeah, there's the jump back. We didn't even get a... Ow! We didn't even get a proc there. Oh my gosh, Proxima, chill, that hurt. Which, let's just go ahead and see what we can do here with the Awakening skill. Oh, wow. That's actually pretty nice. How much all defense down did you get with this? 65%. Oh, I was checking that. 65%. So that's the thing with Awakening characters. They can be good for one-shots and just good for that burst damage from only the Awakening skill itself. So yeah, it looks like Bullseye could be a very good DPS with the Awakening skill. I'm not sure that's enough incentive for me to want to rank him up. He does have the minus 65%, which does get him to the premium threshold, so we can give him a debuff lead, and he should be able to melt some bars, because even right here he was actually melting a few bars. So maybe he has some potential as an Awakened character with just his Awakening skill, but as you can see, his other skills are very lackluster and underwhelming. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what I have to say about Bullseye here. Just looks like a standard speed character, nothing too impressive. The Awakening skill looks like it could hit really hard, so you can take advantage of that if you want to invest all those resources in him. With the uniform, I think he's best suited with a CTB Destruction or a Guard Break immunity, or if you don't want to bother with that, just give him like an Invincibility Obelisk or something. So yeah, that's going to be it here for Bullseye. Let me know what you think of him, if I'm maybe overlooking something, if maybe he has value somewhere else that I'm not seeing. But as of right now, I think he's a pretty underwhelming character. Uniform looks cool. I definitely like the kind of evil Hawkeye look here that he's got. He's got that creepy smile going on. But besides that, that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed, and of course I will catch you in the next one.